Hey everyone, Haggy here, and welcome to another episode of Breaking the Meta. Now, I have a little bit of news before we do anything here. So, I've definitely been noticing over the past few episodes of Breaking the Meta that I'm not really getting a lot of gameplay of Arcanine, like showing him off. I'm actually showing off a lot of how my whole team works. So, I've decided to split this series in half. What you've been seeing recently, I'm going to rename to Showdown Sessions, and after that I'm going to have the tier that I'm playing, and that's just going to become its own series. I'm planning on right now, it's just going to take over the week that Breaking the Meta would be on, and then the next week we'll be bringing back Little Cup. Now, I think what I might end up doing, actually, and I'd like a little bit of feedback on this from you guys if I can get it, is that I'm going to combine them all together and just do different ones scheduled for different days of the week. So that way you can, maybe 1 week, I don't want you to have to spend 1 week off and be like, oh man, I'm not really a big fan of bringing back Little Cup, so I'm not going to watch it. And then the next week, oh yeah, I love, Showdown Sessions, so I might actually try to do that. I don't have a schedule. My next video will definitely have an official schedule for that one if I decide to do that. But I will tell you, Showdown Sessions will start tomorrow or the next day. Guaranteed. Breaking the Meta will now become an analysis of the Pokemon that we're doing that week, and you will be able to see this Pokemon on this week's Showdown Sessions. I'll at least have one battle up there where they'll be involved, but I won't try to just focus it around them like I've attempted to do with this series, because I don't think it's really teaching the Pokemon that well like that. So instead, we're just going to do a breakdown of this Pokemon, show you why it's competitive in there, and you'll be able to watch Showdown Sessions for the rest of the week and see Arcanine in action. But I won't have to have the stress of trying to make it relevant 100% around Arcanine. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this Pokemon. Arcanine, his stats are really good as a physical attacker, but as you can see, he can definitely pull off a special attack set. He's in the UU tier mostly because of his speed stat. It is just low enough that takes him out of competition with other high-speed fire types and other high-speed Pokemon. The metagame's just a little bit too fast for him right now. Now, I run mine in a different way than they suggest in the suggestion spread there. I run mine Adamant and Choice Banded. The Choice Band is an item that boosts a Pokemon's attack by 1.5 times. So instead of 350, I'd have it 525 total attack, which is amazing. Now, this is definitely not the only set you can do for Arcanine. If you look over here, his abilities are Intimidate, Flash Fire, and Justified. A Flash Fire set is actually really handy. And honestly, I really do think that's a very valid set, especially for catching your opponent off guard. I run mine Intimidate to chain together with my Manectric, because when he Mega Evolves, he gets Intimidate, and then I get a double Intimidate core, which honestly takes pressure off physical attackers really fast, and it helps Arcanine switch into Scizor, which is honestly his forte. If your opponent's running a Scizor, if you switch in your Arcanine on a Bullet Punch, the most I've ever seen it take is, I'm pretty sure, 17%. And Arcanine can always net the one-hit kill, bar Focus Sash, with its Flare Blitz. Arcanine does come as his own priority attack though on the physical side. As you can see here, Extreme Speed gives him +2 priority and hits really hard with the Choice Band. It can KO a lot of common threats. If you're watching my former episode of Breaking the Meta there, I used it to KO and Alakazam's at 66%. Honestly, Arcanine could have KO'd one a lot easier than that, but it lets him KO Pokemon that are a lot faster, and he makes a really good revenge killer in that. Now, as I said, this is definitely not his only option, and if you watch Shady Penguin's channel at all, he has a very interesting set for Arcanine, which involves making him defensive, taking advantage of the Intimidate, and running him with special attacks on him. Now, if we take a look at his move pool here, he's got a lot of things that really push him towards the physical side, in my opinion. Close combat, extreme speed, but Dragon Pulse is an excellent move. And if we're looking at this move pool, he does have excellent special moves. Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Heat Wave too. But in my opinion, I honestly think his forte is as an attacker, a physical attacker. Now, as we're looking through here, he's got so many good options. And by the way, Iron Head can be an option to sub onto your set if you're having problems with fairies. That will annihilate his way through fairies very easily. Combine that with your Choice Band or Choice Scarf if you'd like to patch up his slightly smaller speed. My goodness, because he become a threat. Now, Outrage is never something I'd really suggest running on him. It's kind of a gimmicky thing. It sounds kind of fun, but it just, because fairies in this generation, is just way too risky to keep on him. He does have access to most of the elemental fangs. I think he actually has access to all of them. Yeah, Fire Fang. No, he does not have access to Ice Fang, apparently. I didn't even know that one, if it helps, guys. Yeah, no access to Ice Fang. His ice coverage then is actually pretty much non-existent, but luckily he gets Wild Charge, which I honestly think makes up for that. And Will-O-Wisp is definitely a good option if you want to run him physically defensive or specially defensive, but I would never recommend specially defensive, as his Intimidate ability is the only thing that makes him possibly defensive. Now, if we look at this here, Choice Band definitely doesn't have to be the only item. Like I said earlier, Choice Scarf would work. He would actually do really well as a Life Orb attacker. I can't suggest Expert Belt just because I don't think he's got the raw power to finish off some Pokemon always. 110 is definitely an above average attack stat, and that makes him monstrously good against what he's against, but I still can't find myself suggesting that. Also, you can run him as Morning Sun, which is a really great ability. It's weather dependent, but on a basis it restores 50% of his health. Really helpful, really helpful. I always find myself running that set before I ran this one, and it works really well. I would always recommend Crunch over Bite though if you want that. I can't remember if it's an egg move. I've actually bred one on my copy of X and Y, and I don't think Crunch was an egg move. I also can't suggest Giga Impact, by the way. That would just be a little bit too gimmicky for me. You won't ever need another fighting type coverage move besides his close combat, and that gives him excellent coverage against rock Pokemon that would give him problems otherwise. Now, in the OU metagame, as I said earlier, his main things that he can counter hardcore is Scizor. He can counter Tyranitar if he doesn't switch into an Earthquake. I'd say that's definitely the two threats that I see him excelling against the most. Other than that, as a revenge killer against pretty much any other Pokemon. Pokemon, though, that give him a lot of problem is Heatran. What you're going to need to do on your team is you have to carry something to take care of Heatran if Arcanine's your main attacker. I carry the Mamoswine for Garchomp and Heatran, because Garchomp counters Arcanine pretty hard too. His Extreme Speed can revenge kill though, a Choice Scarf weaken Garchomp, and that's definitely one thing that you want to look out for. And Manectric on my team is also decent against a Heatran just because of his Volt Switch can help wear it down. Conkeldurr's mostly there to deal with that though. He's got that really powerful fighting stab. It's a very fun Pokemon to use, by the way. Most of my team is based around Arcanine. They're supposed to help cover his weaknesses. He's weak to ground. I have Skarmory for that. But to make sure I have my electrical weakness covered from Skarmory, I have the Mamoswine and the Manectric. Mamoswine helps them hit Heatran. Chansey's just an all-over good special wall. I could have gone more complex and probably made the team a little bit better if I would have really buckled down and devoted myself to a good special wall. But Chansey's just way too excellent to lit up. For the fighting on that though, I don't really have a lot of Pokemon. That's one issue with my team, is fighting hits all my Pokemon at least neutral, if not super effective. Two of them super effective, which is where the Intimidate core comes in. Manectric allowing me to get more momentum by Volt switching out of there and just wearing down Pokemon and chiseling them down. So good teammates for your Arcanine would be a Mamoswine to deal with a lot of threats it can't. A second Pokemon with Intimidate does well if you're running that set. With Flash Fire, you can definitely use him to cover up Pokemon with a fire weakness such as Scizor. He would actually make an excellent partner for Scizor. Skarmory makes a great partner for him, especially since if Skarmory really needs to take a fire attack or you really need a fire attack, Flash Fire Arcanine makes an excellent partner for him too. And can come in for the revenge kill. So I do hope you guys like this. This is exactly how this series is going to start going, just analysis once a week on a new Pokemon. I'm aiming for breaking the meta episodes will now be on Friday then for that, or not Friday, sorry. Hopefully Sunday for that new Pokemon. I'm going to be not doing one this Sunday though, probably they'll more than likely be pushed off to Monday, and I'm sorry for that. But I have to prepare my other series. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed and you have a great day.